November Papa is monitoring.
KD7 KMA here, sir. How's my signal coming out of the...
Darn it, I wanted to poke Siobhan.
Thank you, KD7 KMA.
K7 TMP.
KJ7USZ, Siobhan, are you out there? KJ7OMO. I'm gonna see if I could drag Siobhan in. KJ7USZ, Siobhan, KJ7OMO. No response. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar.
Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar, K7 TMP. Would you be available for some third-party traffic?
Yeah, I will be available, though in about 4 minutes from now I have to disconnect from Puget Sound so that I could start a net on my system. But yeah, I'll be available.
K7 TMP copies. We'll be standing by for you. K7 TMP.
Alright, go ahead with third-party traffic. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar.
Okay, stand by.
Here you go. Hi.
That's it. My daughter just wanted to talk. She's practicing using the radio and she wanted to talk to somebody. So that's her third-party traffic. K7 TMP. Thank you, Kimberly.
Alright, you're welcome. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar. And for all of my friends out there who are in the Pride community, I welcome you to join me on my net, which will happen on All-Star Node 2105, along with a bunch of other analog and digital voice modes. PrideRadioNetwork.com, PrideRadioNetwork.com for more information. I will now disconnect from Puget Sound. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar, clear. I just had to do it. I had to put that... I just had to put that plug out there. Alrighty, everybody, let's get this party started. Welcome to the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net. My name is Kimberly, Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar. Mike Oscar is my call sign, and my pronouns are she, her. I'm your net control operator for this net. This is a roundtable general discussion and rag-chew net, and all calls should go through the net control station. This net meets every Sunday at 2 a.m. Coordinated Universal Time. Before we begin, do we have any emergency or other priority traffic? If at any time there is an emergency, please say break, and we will assist you. This net provides a safe place for members of the LGBTQIA+ community, as well as their allies, to hang out over the airwaves. This net, as well as the network it's hosted on, is open to all licensed amateur radio operators. No membership is necessary, and we also welcome a third-party traffic as well. The Pride Radio Group provides an inclusive environment for all to learn, experiment, and enjoy radio communications by encouraging, promoting, and supporting diversity with the wider radio community, sharing our experiences and learnings with the community, and celebrating and embracing Pride on the air. For more information about the Pride Radio Group and how to join, plus gain access to our Discord chat room, head on over to prideradio.group. That is prideradio.group. Or check out Victor Kilo 3 Papa Romeo Golf or Kilo 3 Papa Romeo Golf on QRZ. Membership is free and all are welcome, regardless of who you are and who you love. Unless you hate us, of course. Ugh, we don't like haters. Hi. This net is being relayed on the various nodes, top groups, and reflectors of the Pride Radio Network and affiliated systems, as well as various RF repeaters around the world. And it's also streamed live on my YouTube It is also streamed live on YouTube via my YouTube channel by searching for my call sign, Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar, as well as Broadcastify and Icecast. For more information on how you can connect to this network, visit PrideRadioNetwork.com. That is PrideRadioNetwork.com. And finally, you can also track and follow this net by downloading NetLogger on Windows, Linux, or Mac OS from netlogger.org. That is netlogger.org. That's a fantastic piece of software. You could log into it, open up our whatever net you want, such as our net, for example, and see a list of call signs being populated in real time and be able to follow along easily. So I highly recommend NetLogger. Once again, that's netlogger.org. And for those of you who are not licensed and you'd like to join along, well, you're going to need a license to be able to transmit. Or go through another licensed ham if you'd like to go that route. But for more information on ham radio licensing, visit hamstudy.org. That is hamstudy.org. Be sure to study for your exams and get your license today. Alright, before we begin this evening's net, do we have any news, announcements, or other items of business for the net and the Pride Radio Group? Already, no announcements, news, or anything. Now comes our favorite part of the net. This is Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar, your net control station for the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net. We will now begin taking check-ins, starting with mobile short on time and in and out stations. So if you're mobile, don't have much time, or if you just simply want to pop in for a quick hello and then pop out, all I need is your call signs, slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, your pronouns as well. Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar, I'll now stand by for check-ins from mobile in and out or short on time stations. Alrighty, we're gonna move it on to anyone, anywhere. So anyone, anywhere, if you'd like to check in. All I need are your call signs, slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, your pronouns as well.
Victor Kilo 3, Juliet Echo Delta. Victor Kilo 3, Juliet Echo Delta, pronouns he, him.
Yeah, here we go. Alright, we have Victor Kilo 3, Juliet Echo Delta. Do we have anybody else out there?
X-ray, checking into the Pride Radio Group Net, November 4, November Yankee X-ray.
Alright, sorry about that. Had a little netlogger issue, but I got that sorted. November 4, November Yankee X-ray. Got you down. Do we have anyone else out there wishing to check in? Alright, do we have anyone else out there wishing to check into the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net? Oh boy, we're off to a quiet start. VK3 JED will pass the mic to you, KJ7 Oamo.
Yeah, g'day Kimberly and everyone else on the group. And a slightly warmer, somewhat humid day, threatening rain and a possible storm today for this afternoon, just to put you in the picture. But hope everyone's well. Haven't been doing a lot of actual radio other than APRS. If you do look me up on APRS, you'll see me wandering around the map occasionally. And in other news, I have done a little work on the server, but not Pride related. I've added a new link for a local or national IRLP and Echolink system that's been going for more than a decade. The Aussie conference on Echolink, which has been on IRLP 9559 since I caught up by chance with the owner of the Aussie conference. Actually, he reported a technical issue and I fixed that, and we got chatting for the first time in close to 10 years, and Turns out he's a big open source person. So I said, M17's open source, and he's like, what's that? And so I told him, and he said, yeah, that'd be a good thing to put on the system. So we now have added All-Star and M17 to the Aussie conference. So the open source is spreading, the good open source with a... Anyway, that's my bit of news for the week. KJ7OMO with the group BK3JED, given the FT818 a run for a change.
Alright, VK3JED KJ7OMO returning. That sounds really good. Looks like you've been busy, and yeah, really good to hear about that other network. And we have a Discord in and out check-in from VK2BSD, so we'll acknowledge that station, and let's see, and it looks like Yakov is under the weather, so I wish Yakov a speedy recovery from being sick. November 4, November Yankee X-Ray, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar.
Hiya, this is feedback. This is November 4, November Yankee X-Ray. So this week, just been narrowing down the Echolink setup for the home repeater here, and hopefully this net goes off without too much of a hitch. That's really what I'm trying to see. And other than that, I've got to say, also under the weather recently, but popping in on the net, still wanted to see if the whole Echolink thing works, but might have to cut myself short here since the house is pretty active right now, and probably should have just been an in-and-out check-in, honestly, but like I said, I still want to see if this thing works all right. That'll be it for me this round, and back to net control, November 4, November Yankee X-Ray.
November 4, November Yankee X-Ray, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar returning. Well, your setup is working pretty darn good. 10 out of 10. You got it going. Alright, well, have fun with those activities, and yeah, I'll go ahead and mark you in as a checkout. Feel free to check back in at any time you wish. And I shall say 3373 and all the numbers, and we'll see you again next time. Alright, we're at the bottom of the list. And so let's see if there's anybody else out there wishing to check in and join us in this fun net. All I need are your call signs slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, your pronouns as well. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar standing by. Oi, oi, oi. It's all crickets out there. We'll make another call for check-ins, see if anyone else is out there. Well. Looks like it's just the Kimberly and Tony show for the time being. VK3JED, KJ7OMO.
Hey, Kimberly. And, I'll play around the modes, just going in on D-Star for something a bit different. So, I can hear the difference coming back on the All-Star. The effect of the code.
Woo! So much for D-Star.
Oh, change the radios, make sure I got it. Yeah, looks like it. Looks like the battery contact issues on the D-Star radio. It was, it dropped out. So back on All-Star, but yeah, that's the radio, not the network. I looked up and the display was blank, and then it fired itself up. It does happen from time to time, but we're there. It was doing a bit of a round of modes. I'll have to do a DMR or one of the other ones next time. Anyway, we're out there. Trying to think what else has been happening. No competition this week. They forecast storms, so they canned it, and guess what? It was actually a perfect day in the end, but too late. So I just wandered down to a local soccer field and did some training there instead. Just walked down, did a session, walked back. So, anyway, hang on a sec. D-Star's just being desensed. I was sort of looking at what was going on. Anything else happened during the week? I did do some tweaks to the server, which I think will reduce the frequency that I need to reboot, which was every 2 to 3 weeks. I might be able to extend that quite considerably. I had some of the software in debug mode, and it was filling the disk with lots of temporary files, and a reboot and restart of the affected containers would fix that. But if I don't generate in the first place, I won't have to reboot so often. Anyway, to shake that tree hard, KJ7RMO with the group VK3JD, with a whole heap of spiders turning up here. Only little ones, but just a minor annoyance.
Copy that. Those spiders are are really annoying. My house is full of them, and every time I clear them all out, a million of them come right back. They're relentless around here. I mean, they're those little tiny cellar spiders, little cellar spiders. I mean, they don't bite you or anything. They don't harm you. You know, they're not dangerous to us humans, but for some reason they I don't know, they just like to hang out in my house, and they're really difficult to get rid of. So I'm having to live with these millions of spiders creating extremely messy webs in my house. It's Halloween 24/7 in here. All right, I have to shake that tree really hard now, don't I? Speaking of shaking that tree, alright, well, we're at the bottom of the list. Let's see if we can shake that tree a bit harder and get some more people to come down from it and say hi. All I need are your call signs slowly, twice, and phonetically, as well as your pronouns if you wish. Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar standing by for more check-ins to the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net. Come on, people, don't be shy. Pick up your mics and say hi. And spit out your call signs, of course. Hi, hi. Do I have anybody else out there wishing to check into the net? All I need are your call signs, slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, your pronouns as well. I think I'm shaking the wrong tree here, because it's a whole lot of empty. I guess we'll have to shake another tree. Hi. VK3, JED, KJ7, OMO, back to you.
Yeah, okay. Yep, DMR this time, around the modes. So, yeah, we'll see how we go. This seems to be working okay. I can hear it coming back in the background, and yeah, a little more mellow than D-Star. Yeah, what else? Something else did come to mind. It's just escaped me for the time being. Oh yes, M17. Yeah, in 5 weeks' time on, actually, no, 4 weeks' time. On 4 weeks' time, on the 20th of November, which is a Sunday here, it will be during nip time, possibly. And that's also Saturday over there. I don't know the exact time yet, so stay tuned. But I am giving a presentation on M17, what it is, and how to join in the fun, whether just on the internet using something like DroidStar, or going the whole hog and getting some RF happening and setting up your own spot or repeater or gateway or whatever you want to use. So, yeah, M17. I don't know if there's a live stream yet. When I find out, I will give any details if there is a live stream. Hopefully there will be. But if not, there's a couple of older talks I've done last year that are on YouTube that I can pop links to for anyone that asks. So, yeah, if you're wondering what this M17 stuff that Kimberly and I always talk about is, yeah, have a listen well, to what's online, or if you're in the VK3 area and you want to do a Hamfest, come down to Rosebud on the 20th, and I can tell you all about it. KJ7OMO with the group VK3JD on DMR.
VK3, JED, KJ7, OMO returning. A chock-a-block full of good stuff there. Oh my goodness, it makes me wish I was in Victor Kilo land so that I could pay a visit to the Hamfests and see all the good stuff for myself, as well as have all sorts of other kind of other fun over there as well. Perhaps one day I'll be over there. Hopefully. But yeah, it would be really awesome if that meeting takes place during the net and y'all decide to demo the M17 mode via the net, via our net. It'll bring in a bunch of people, for sure. Alright, well, time to shake that tree again. If there's anyone out there wishing to check into the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net, come now with your call signs, slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, your pronouns as well. KJ7OMO, let's get some more folks added to the list. Come on, don't be shy. Oi, oi, oi. Oi, oi, oi. I think it's still gonna be the Kimberly and Tony show for a while, which is okay. I don't mind that. But I'm gonna make another call for check-ins. See if anyone else is out there wishing to join the net. Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar standing by for more check-ins. Oh my god, short net, sheesh. Okay, well, nothing on that tree either, so I'll toss it back to you, VK3JED, KJ7 Omone. We'll shake the next tree after you're over.
Yeah, okay. And, yeah, something going on with Fusion there. That's a bit odd. Yeah, so don't know what's going on with Fusion. That'd be my access point or its internet connection because it goes through a somewhat different route to the main system. I should fix that VPN too. They updated the other end. I haven't got around to another round of tests. The first round I had some configuration issues and I had to switch back to the old link, and then it got forgotten. Should have done it a couple of months ago, but yeah, these things happen. Hobbyist groups and all of that, you know what it's like. But yeah, M17's a lot of fun, and there's a few people now getting around with modified MD380s, which can be flashed with the OpenRTX firmware, and yeah, they seem to do a reasonably good job. And the good old Yaesu FT70, which I happen to have one of them, that's a potential future candidate for OpenRTX. There's a lot of work being done on reverse engineering the FT70 and a couple of the other earlier Yaesus, and yeah, it looks promising for a port to that radio, which then gives me a hard choice. Do I keep mine on Fusion? Do I modify it to M17, or do I buy a second one so I can have one of each? So, yeah, decisions when it comes to radios, but that's the thing about ham radio. There's always something to play with. And speaking of which, short break. Yeah, when I was talking to Paul, who runs the Aussie conference, he lives in Dubbo, which is a fairly remote town in central west New South Wales, and I mentioned that, you know, he's sort of talking about HF, and he's got into FreeDV a bit, and I sort of mentioned how it'd be nice if FreeDV could be hooked up to the rest of the world, so I suggested that and I gave him a possible way to do it, set up a proof of concept, and we do some tests, which may happen in the next couple of weeks, and bridge FreeDV to the Aussie conference on a temporary testing basis, and record some audio going via the system. So, yeah, trying to stir the pot of experimentation down here. Anyway, KJ7RMO with the group VK3JED.
VK3JED KJ7 OML returning. That sounds super amazing. I cannot wait to see the results of that. Oh wow, bridging a network on HF via FreeDV. That's gonna be a game changer. I mean, I wish we could bridge our repeater system onto HF, but unfortunately, as far as I know, repeater systems aren't allowed on anything below 10 meters. So yeah, that kind of makes things tough, but But for you folks down under, heck yeah. I mean, if that's successful, then why not? Let's get Pride bridged on free DV via HF. And that would be a real game changer. Who knows? Maybe one of these days when the conditions are right, all of us might even have an HF edition of the net. We'll see, though. We'll see. Anyways, we're at the bottom of the list, so the last several trees had nobody on it, so I'm going to shake this next tree and shake it real good, and hopefully somebody will drop from it and say hi. Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar for identification purposes, and let's see if there's anybody else out there wishing to check in to the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net. All I need are your call signs, slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, your pronouns as well. Let's see if there's anybody out there. Come on, don't be shy. Pick up your mics and say hi. I cannot get enough of saying that.
VK3 Papa Whiskey Juliet Mobile.
All right, Victor Kilo 3 Papa Whiskey Juliet. Finally, somebody else out there, finally. All right, anyone else out there wishing to check in? All right, Victor Kilo 3 Papa Whiskey Juliet, Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar. Toss it over to you. Welcome aboard.
Thank you, Kimberly. VK3 PWJ returning. Yeah, I'm on the freeway heading towards Melbourne Airport to pick my partner up from a couple of weeks away on a car rally in far northern Australia, which finished yesterday or Friday night, our time. So going to meet a plane if it's on time later on today, but stop off and see my brother along the way. It's a nice day. Quite pleasant. Current temperature outside 20 degrees Celsius, and there's not a lot of traffic, which is good. And sort of light clouds across the horizon. And that's what I'm doing today. So hello to everyone on the net, and I'll pass it back to you. I can't remember the call sign properly because I'm concentrating on the road, so my apologies. VK3 PWJ back to Central.
Alright, not a problem. And you're sounding pretty good on the mobile. Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar. Before I send it back up to the top, we'll shake that tree one more time. Anybody else out there wishing to check in? Alright, I'm gonna need to get one of those tree vibrating things that the farmers use to quickly get the fruit off the trees. Hi. All right, Victor Kilo 3, Juliet Echo Delta, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar. We'll toss the mic back to you.
Okay, Kimberley, and g'day Pete as well. Good to hear you on. And say hi to Justin for me when you do pick him up. So we'll good to have him back in town after that long trip. And Fusion suddenly started working. That's what's coming back to me. I'll just turn that off for a sec. Yeah, so obviously there's some internet issues at that point. With the VPN, it's come back. For your info, Pete, yesterday got cancelled. I think I mentioned that. So I just wandered off to a local soccer field and did my own training session. And no one said anything about today. So today's been a rest day, pretty much. But I'll go down for another sauna and spa after the net. It's become a bit of a Sunday habit the last few weeks, a little bit the same as the Friday one. And I don't know if you heard my last year, I was talking about bridging FreeDV, which is HF Digital Voice, to networks like this. And I have someone willing to do the hardware side of the experiment, and suggested how they can quickly get it hooked up, because at this stage we're not after engineering, we're after proof of concept. Does the idea work? Is it going to be feasible? So that could be a bit of fun. Something definitely to look into. Always experimentation happening. Of course, I'm getting closer to the day where everything will be shut down, and I'll be probably on a couple of nets only on DroidStar, or maybe the All-Star the Shari might be able to sit up for most of it. But the main shack will be shut down within the next couple of weeks, ready for everything to be moved, which will probably be the dominant thing in November. Anyway, KJ7RMO with the group VK3JD out in that sunny weather.
VK3JED KJ7OMO. Not much to say at the moment, so we'll toss it back over to VK3PWJ Mobile.
Thank you, Kimberley KJ7OMO. I remembered it, and it helps to hear it. Sorry. PK3PWJ. Thanks, Tony. I didn't pick up that it was cancelled yesterday, so sorry about that. I guess the weather was problematic there. And enjoy the afternoon. It looks like a nice one to be out and about anyway, in town then. We did have a lot of thunder last night and lightning, but and a heavy shower for quite a while, but then it's all cleared up today. There's no sign of any excess water or anything around our area, so that's good. Currently just south of Harcourt, so heading southwards. And I had a listen on DMR this morning. It was fairly quiet though, so I only heard a few people chatting to each other briefly. Everyone seems to be out and about, busy. So, all good. I'll throw back to you, KJ7OMO in the group, VK3PWJ.
VK3PWJ KJ7OMO returning. Alright, we're at the bottom of the list again, so let's see if there's anybody else out there wishing to check in to the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net. All that's needed are your call signs, slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, your pronouns as well. KJ7OMO standing by for anyone else wishing to check in. Anyone else out there wishing to check in? Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar, standing by. Nobody out there at this moment, though I do see a node from San Francisco connected. Well, you're more than welcome to check in if you like, or even just lurk in the shadows and listen in. Either way works. VK3JED, your turn, KJ7OMO.
Yeah, rather quiet net today. Good that Pete's here. And certainly had that thunder last night. That was a decent storm, and it was almost continuous at one stage when the peak of it passed over around 8:30 last night. Yeah, but, pretty much continuous, but no power outages or anything serious, just a lot of rain. The rain got really heavy at one stage, but nothing here being sort of on the side of a gentle hill. Any water just flows down the street. So, all good. And, this morning, a quick trip to the supermarket was the first time I'd jumped in the car since Thursday evening. But that'll change because, got a bit of running around to do tomorrow and Tuesday, of course, and Wednesday. So, I'll make up for the last couple of days of not driving. So, it will happen. And, wonder where everyone is. We're supposed to catch up with Jared either Thursday or Friday to just talk over a few last-minute things. But don't know where they went to. Must have got busy with other work again. So if Jared turns up, I'll be letting them know I felt stood up. But no harm done. I did use some of that time on Friday in particular. I used that time that we didn't use to set up the new link for Aussie. So definitely no time wasted. There's always something else I go off and do while waiting, and this week proved to be the case. So, no, that's good. And this week be just the usual gym and track training and hopefully a competition next week. Although the weather forecast is not super great, I think, for next weekend either. But as long as it's not thunderstorms. And of course they didn't eventuate, not at the time that we were competing. They came, as Pete said, in the evening, which was several hours after, about 4 hours after we'd have finished. KJ7OMO, the group VK3JED.
VK3JED KJ7OMO returning. Copy that. Well, I just now pinged Jared So hopefully they'll show their butt up on the network and say hi to all of us. VK3PWJ, we'll toss it over to you, KJ7OMO.
VK3PWJ returning. Sorry, I just got a bit distracted. There's a roadwork, so but it's all good. I wish I'll have to do a bit more work on trying to get Echolink working through my Bluetooth in the car. It'd be very handy for the purposes of the exercise. It has worked once before, so I'll have to see why it stopped. A lot of conflicting Bluetooth. I think other things might have to be switched off for it to work successfully. However, Echolink's working very clear. I can hear you both exceptionally well, just on the phone, so that's good. There is a small little executive group, if you call it that, on the net today, so good to hear some voices on it anyway. Yeah, hopefully, Tony, I've got a busy week coming up. I've still avoided bookings for Tuesday, so that's all right. Tomorrow I've got to travel back down this way to go to a consultancy meeting, so I'll be straight up the freeway home and then straight back again the next day, so it'll be, I'll know the road well by the end of the week. A few other meetings on as well this week, so it's a bit busy, which is good. No drama. Anyway, the roadworks are finished, so I can get back to my TV. And I'll pass back to you, KJ7OMO in the group, VK3PWJ.
Alrighty, good stuff. VK3PWJ, KJ7OMO, and we're at the bottom of the list again, so let's see what this next tree will bring us when we shake it. If we have anyone else out there wishing to check in, all I need are your call signs, slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, your pronouns as well. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar. Let's see if anybody else wishes to join the net.
Kilo India 6 Whiskey Papa Kilo KI6WPK. Bill in San Francisco.
All right, look who fell out of the tree. KI6WPK, KJ7OMO. Before we get to you, is there anyone else out there wishing to check in? All right, we'll toss it over to KI6WPK, KJ7OMO.
Well, you shook the tree, and I ran over here and grabbed my radio. Let's see. I attended a really good ham fest here in Northern California called PacificCon Ham Conference, and I tried to keep my wallet in my pocket because there were a lot of good radios there. But anyway, I went to a lot of good seminars. One on antennas and one on transformers. So that was fun. Let's see. Otherwise, I'm waiting for my partner to call me to pick him up from work, and I want to scramble some eggs and have some sausages. So that's all from me tonight. Back to net. KI6WP.
Ah, yes, ham fests and wallets. They make a fun combination. Having to resist the urge to reach for that wallet and buy yourself a new radio must be incredibly hard. Because there's so many radios out there that you would love to have, and your wallet says, I don't know, there's not a whole lot of money inside the, that's a dilemma we always get whenever we're around ham radios for sale. And eggs and sausage, that sounds really good. Alright, before I toss it back up to the top, was there anyone else wanting to check in? Alright, Tony, VK3JED, take it away, KJ7OMO.
Yeah, okay, Kimberley. Am I working? Yeah, 1, 2. Yep, that one is. Yep, I am getting out. Just not used to a signal that's not delayed. Yeah, analog to analog. Anyway, g'day, Bill. And good to hear you on the net today. Good to hear, and I must be the only one that's not picking anyone up. The other half's already home. Yeah, he's sitting inside and I'm outside playing radios, as you do. And yeah, as I said before at the start of the net, before you popped up, speaking of Hamfest, I'll be off to Rosebud, which is about 3 hours drive away, way down on the south end of Port Phillip Bay, past Melbourne. Where I'll be giving a presentation on M17. Yeah, so the new digital mode, which of course we do support on the network here. We have 2 M17 connection points available. One that I run down here in VK land, and the other one Kimberley runs up there in the States. So yeah, there's M17 support as well. So yeah, I don't know if there's a live stream yet. Haven't heard details, but it should be a good day out. And yeah, sounds like you're rather busy, Pete. Yeah, Tuesday's still good because should be early. There's no doctor's appointments this week, and yeah, shopping day's temporarily been moved to Wednesday, which means no issues with lateness or anything else. So it should be a good catch up on Tuesday. And yeah, tomorrow, I've the usual morning gym routine. In the afternoon, I'm catching up with someone. We're going to talk about sport and basically how the stuff I've got out of it can be used to help others. And I got my own alligator, so yeah, been bitten by the croc. Talked to her about some ideas we've had between us, but been trying to have this catch up for nearly 2 months, and a few attempts later, hopefully tomorrow will be the day. But it's been like herding cats to get together to sit down over coffee and work some stuff out. So yeah, fairly busy week ahead, and next week it's also busy because look through the house and some other stuff coming up. So yeah, a busy time, and it'll get worse as the move gets closer. Hopefully I'll know soon when the dates are. It will be for sure sometime in November. So you'll hear me from a new spot, and you'll love the name of the suburb, but I'm not going to give anything away there, Kimberley. You'll find out at the time. KJ7RMO with the group VK3JD.
VK3JED KJ7 RMO returning. You're keeping us in suspense, eh? I see. Alright, well, best of luck on the move. VK3PWJ Mobile KJ7 OMO.
VK3PWJ Mobile returning. Thank you. Yeah, well, it's good to be busy, and no doubt you'll have it all under control as usual, Tony. I'm now down in your neck of the woods, the Macedon area, just opposite Hanging Rock, which I'm not sure if Kimberley's ever heard of Hanging Rock or the movie Picnic at Hanging Rock. Quite an impressive little rock standing up, mysterious looking, and there's more roadworks. So we've got to get used to roadworks everywhere at the moment, repairing damage from the floods. So yeah, that's I'm making good time, so I'll be able to spend a bit of time with my brother and his wife for a while before I have to go to the airport, so that's good. I'm not sure, Kimberley, where it is that you reside in the States, what city, or I can't place it. Maybe you could shed some light on that in one of the overs. Just for interest's sake, about whereabouts in the world we're talking to. That'd be good. So I'll throw back to you, the KJ7OMO in the group, VK3 PWJ, Peter.
VK3PWJ KJ7 OMO returning. I'm located in Yuma, Arizona. Yankee Uniform Mike Alpha, Yuma, Arizona. It is located right along the California border and is a few minutes drive from Mexico. And we are in the southwest, the very southwestern part of Arizona. Hopefully this helps. And if you need the grid, it's Delta Mike 22 Quebec, Quebec. Once again, grid square is Delta Mike 22 Quebec, Quebec. Kilo India 6 Whiskey Papa Kilo. Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar. We'll toss that hot potato over to you.
Well, yeah, I'm just sitting here reading some email and getting hungrier and hungrier for a late dinner. It was nice to hear Peter and the other caller from Australia. And I'm just relaxing and listening. Back to you, KI6WPK.
Alrighty, relaxing and listening. That sounds pretty good. Alright, we're at the bottom of the list, so Let's see if there's anybody else out there wishing to check in to the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net. All I need are your call signs, slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, your pronouns as well. This is Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar, and I'll stand by for anyone else wishing to check in. Do we have anyone else out there wishing to check in? Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar, standing by. I wonder if the Tree Shaker Deluxe 9000 from Acme Corporation is going to help us here. Hi. VK3 JED KJ7 OMO, over to you.
Yeah, I just hope you're not the coyote there, Kimberly. Yeah, I know the coyote doesn't have much luck with Acme products. Yeah, obviously a Roadrunner reference there, and yeah, it looks like that's set in your part of the world, looking at the general terrain. Yeah, I certainly have a pretty good idea where you are. I know that southern end of California. I was down there, San Diego, and a fair bit inland from there back in 2005. Didn't get as far across as to Yuma in Arizona then, but got a little bit of the way inland and close to the Mexico border. The only time I actually did get into Arizona was a few days later while I was in Vegas. We took a trip out to Hoover Dam and walked from Nevada into Arizona across the dam wall. And once I got to Arizona, I had a quick look around at that end of the dam wall and walked back into Nevada. So, yeah, there we go. And yeah, well, Pete, as for that, where you were, that turn-off that you were talking about, that's where I used to live off to the right of that, a few kilometres. So, and I used to cycle up and down that road that goes over the freeway. It was all a bit different back then, but yeah, the famous Hanging Rock, know it well, and I've been there. I've countless times. I've walked there, I've run there, I've ridden a bicycle there, been in a car many times, even a fire truck, because we used to often, whoever was driving would often take the truck out there and take a cruise through during the Sunday morning drive. So, yeah, I know Hanging Rock very well, as you'd expect. I left there in 1991, so over 30 years ago. So, yeah, I was... Yeah, using the Anytone, I always get the Crocodile, but yeah, I was in Wood End when I got my licence, and I was there for roughly 2 years before moving to Melbourne, and then 19 years before coming up this way. Yeah, so Melbourne on his last over. Yeah, getting a guided audio tour of central Victoria, and soon it'll be the outer parts of Melbourne. So, yeah. always something interesting happening. The cloud is thickening up here, but it's still quite warm. We are expecting a lot of rain overnight and all day tomorrow. Could be quite a bit of rain, so the wet's back. Anyone who's feeling things are a bit dry, well, come and pick up some rain from here. We've got way more than we need. KJ7OMO with the Group BK3JD.
VK3 JED KJ7 OMO returning. Oh wow, you've been to Hoover Dam. Awesome. And yeah, you did technically go into Arizona, so you can definitely say that you visited my state. Even though it's just barely the surface of my state. Well, it's not my state originally. I mean, originally I was born in California. Anyways, I also visited the Hoover Dam quite a few times, though I've only had a walk through it once, and that was back in the 90s when I was just a wee little one. Quite the impressive sight that was. But we did drove over the dam on a large number of occasions throughout the years. And that was before they built the bypass bridge over it. And as for the sitting rock or hanging rock or whatever that is, no, I've never heard of it. Over to VK3 PWJ KJ7 OMO.
Thank you, Kimberley. VK3 PWJ mobile returning. Yeah, I didn't realise you'd been over there, Tony, so well done, you. My neighbours have just returned from Arizona, so they love it there. They go there many times when they're in America and like the climate and like the food and hanging up in their favourite spots. So I do hear a bit about that state from them when they're at dinner with us sometimes, telling the story. So it's good. Yeah, the temperature has dropped as usual around this area, at least 5 degrees since I left Bendigo. So, and the cloud is a lot thicker, of course, and very ominous looking. But I don't think it's going to rain. It's just hanging around, which is good. Yeah, that's about it. I'm approaching where I'll be turning off the freeway, so in towards Sunbury, so not too far away from that. And Sunbury is where my brother lives, so I shall be finishing up then. I'll pass back to you. It's KJ7 OMO in the group, VK3 PWJ.
Alright, VK3 PWJ KJ7 OMO. Did you want me to mark you out? Did you want me to mark you as being checked out? Alright, I'm going to take that as a yes. Alright, Peter, well, it's good hearing from you, and we shall say 7-3, And have fun out there and be safe on the road. KI6WPK, KJ7OMO. The hot potato is yours. Don't burn your hands now. Hi, hi. Kilo India 6 Whiskey Papa Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar. Alright, well, looks like we lost Bill. Alright, we're at the bottom of the list, so let's see if there's anybody else out there wishing to check in. All I need are your call signs, slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, your pronouns as well. This is Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar, standing by for people wishing to check in to the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net.
This is KK7AQN, Kilo 7 Alpha, Quebec, November. Keith, he, him pronouns.
There we go. Got you down. For some reason, I typed hotel instead of alpha. Kilo 7 Alpha, Quebec, November. Got you down. Anyone else out there wishing to check in? Alright, KK7AQN, KJ7OMO, the mic is yours.
Alrighty, and hello from a slightly rainy and dreary Seattle. Better now. I just checked into a hotel last night. I'm embarking on a year-long road trip, and what I did not plan on is encountering captive Wi-Fi in hotels when trying to use my Pi-Star, so I'm going to have to figure that out. And for whatever reason, it didn't want to connect to my iPhone hotspot, so we're back on Echolink, but hopefully next week I will have figured out the whole captive portal thing and can actually test out one of the 2 DMR radios that I brought with me. And other than that, pretty decent day. Saw some friends, and now just kind of hanging out and relaxing and peering into the new Google building that is across the street from me. This is KK7AQN. Back to Matt.
Alright, KK7AQN, KJ7OMO returning. Well, there is a way around that captive portal thing. You'll need a Wi-Fi router, preferably a portable one, that can be used as a repeater. You'd have that router connect to the Wi-Fi hotspot, and then you connect to your little travel router via your computer, and then log into the silly captive portal, and whatever else you have connected to that little mini router is going to be able to connect to the internet without having to go through that captive portal as well, since the little travel router itself would be authenticated. You can also create one from any router you have by flashing open source firmware onto it, such as Delta Whiskey Romeo Tango DDWRT. But there are some travel routers out there that have the repeater functionality built in, so that's definitely something to check out. But yeah, welcome to the net. I wish we had a repeater going in Seattle, but unfortunately Amy has not been able to put that repeater together yet, but hopefully in the future she will be able to gather up the funds she needs to finally get that repeater on the air in Seattle. Alright, and speaking of Seattle, after our net is done, we will be joining the Puget Sound folks. Yep, on the Puget Sound repeater. And you might be able to reach it from where you are using whatever radio you have. And if you had a WiresX capable radio, then you would have been able to get into our network via WiresX. And if Brandmeister didn't permanently ban us, then you also would have been able to get in via that through the DMR repeaters near you. But unfortunately, that's not the case. Though if there is a TGIF or free DMR repeater near you, you might be able to get in through those. Anyways, once again, good hearing you, good having you on the net. Welcome aboard, and enjoy your trip. Before I toss it back up to the top, was there anyone else wishing to check in? KJ7OMO standing by. Okay, Tony, take it away. VK3JED, KJ7OMO.
Yeah, and g'day Keith. And captive portals can be a pain, but yeah, the old working behind the same router trick does work. And I've even got tricks of that'll allow me to get a public IP. Even Echolink would work if it was on said device. That's using a technology called Zero Tier, which is like a VPN, but works slightly differently, and it has a lot of inbuilt NAT traversal capabilities. So I use it on my hotspot, the analog digital hotspot that Shari's connected to. So when I take it out in the field, it works just as well in and outbound connectivity as it does here at home. And the other thing with your phone, there is a little thing, I believe, with the iPhone, and that is the default SSID would be something like Keith's iPhone, and the apostrophe can cause issues with Pi-Star-based systems. I just reconfigured mine, actually, to get rid of the apostrophe in the network SSID. And, the portable hotspot works beautifully with a phone now. If it finds the phone's network when it fires up, it will get on the internet that way. That's another thing I did on Friday, made sure that the phone and the hotspot had worked, so I can use the phone as a hotspot if I have to for the M17 demonstration next month, which means I don't have to drop money on the better Wi-Fi router. I always take my own internet connectivity as well. I generally don't trust on being able to make use of Wi-Fi for various reasons, from it not being there to being woeful to captive portals that then I've got to get all extra hardware to get. I tend to be self-sufficient, and usually I take the travel router with its own 4G connection, and have a computer and hotspot and everything else hanging off that. So that's what I do, but I haven't used it for 6 months. Last trip was into Brisbane for Nationals. And yeah, 2005 is when I was in the US, California, Nevada, that brief little walk into Arizona, and then across to Texas, and then back over a period of 2 weeks, and the whole trip was for ham radio. I was giving a talk on Echo IRLP at the IRLP conference in Vegas, and then a week later I presented on the technology to the VIP Hurricane Net folks. So yeah, that was a real ham radio trip. Very little of it that wasn't something to do with ham radio, as a matter of fact, and stayed with hands most of the time, except the time in Vegas where I stayed in a hotel. Anyway, KJ7OMO with the Group VK3JD.
VK3JED KJ7OMO returning. Another thing that will work in case if you don't have a travel router but you do have your laptop, well, laptop can also act as a repeater in a pinch. Now, I don't remember how to enable it as a repeater, but it can work. It actually will repeat a Wi-Fi signal. So there's that option as well. I'll have to look that up and see how it's done. But yeah, Tony, awesome. I was also in Texas as well, and Oklahoma, and a bunch of other areas surrounding that. New Mexico. Yeah, I've been all over the place. And if you ever come by the U.S. again, feel free to stop by my neck of the woods and say hi. Alright, KI6WPK. Let's see if you're back with us, KJ7OMO. Alright, KI6WPK, KJ7OMO. Alright, we'll try that station one more time later on, and if they don't come back, we'll mark them as a checkout. KK7AQN. We'll toss the hot potato back to you. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar.
Alrighty, thank you guys. Yeah, I appreciate the advice there. Few things have been happening, so I actually have a travel router that needs to be replaced. It does fabulously when I can actually plug it into to the wall, into Ethernet, but doesn't do so well with capturing the hotel's Wi-Fi. I'd say it's a 50-50 shot of whether it'll actually get onto the hotel's Wi-Fi, so I definitely need to upgrade that. I named my iPhone, because it's the Pro Max, I named it Max Headroom, so I don't think there's a problem with the apostrophe. I do have a Windows laptop with me, but I think to make that work, I'd have to have 2 Wi-Fi adapters. I think I'd have to buy a Wi-Fi dongle, which is a possibility. I might stop by. I heard about an electronics store over the river. I might stop by and try that out. I'm new to all this DMR stuff, and so I'm still kind of learning it. I bought 2 DMR radios in the past month. I have both of them Radioddity. I have the GD88, which is an exercise in frustration to program, but really does seem like a solid radio. And then during Amazon's sale here in the U.S., Radioddity concurrently was offering a sale, and I picked up an AT10G, which is basically an Anytone, I want to say 868 or the original 878, but it's single-banded, so it supposedly only transmits up in the 400s. I've seen some reports online that you can kind of hack it and get it to do dual band and get onto 2 millimeter as well. But haven't gotten that far yet, and it's so much easier to program. Problem is, I got that just as I was packing up the last stuff from my apartment into storage, so haven't had a chance to play. Just got my mom's old Windows laptop, so I have something to use on the road to program both of these beasts. And so I'd imagine over the coming weeks I will start to get to know DMR better than I ever had planned to. It's funny how much space in my car these radios. I actually have a total of 3 radios. I also have a Radioddity GA510, which is actually a really nice, cheap, portable, what do they call it, FM handheld. And I'll probably get onto the net tonight at 9 o'clock local time. Through that, I did listen into it last night, but I'll probably try to check in tonight. So, trials and tribulations, but as I go through the country, this is going to happen for about the next year. I am going to be, figuring out the problems and getting a good kit on the road so that I can get set up from anywhere. And then I might be ready to actually upgrade my license to my general. Anyway, it's all fun, right? This is all a hobby, and it's fun stuff, and I get to geek out, and when I talk to fellow queer people about it, they're like, ham what? So it's kind of nice to be able to check in here.
Alright, I don't know if you've finished your transmission or not, because it suddenly cut out, but yeah, you actually won't need to have a secondary dongle in order to get the computer to work as a repeater. It'll actually go into repeater mode with just that one Wi-Fi thing that's built into your laptop. But yeah, it can be done. So I wasn't sure if you were finished with your transmission or not, so I'll toss the mic back to you. KK7AQN, KJ7OMO.
I bet I hit a timeout and didn't even realize it. Yeah, I was pretty much finished up. I don't know where I got cut off, but I was just kind of trying to say that, this is all a fun little hobby, so I'll figure out the problems on the road, and, in 6 months from now, I'll be an expert at DMR and have everything all set up so I can get on the net from anywhere, and I'll even know how to manually program a DMR repeater into my handhelds. But that's it for this round. Back to you, Net Control. This is KK7AQN.
Alrighty, sounds good. KK7AQN, KJ7OMO returning. Yeah, once I get that information on how to make the laptop into a repeater, I'll let you know. Alright, we're at the bottom of the list, so let's see if there's anybody else out there wishing to check in. All I need are your call signs, slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, your pronouns as well. This is KJ7OMO, and I will be standing by.
I'll give it another reattempt. KO4TEZ, Kilo Oscar 4, Tango Echo Zulu, CJ, Charlie Juliet, EM, and testing out a USB microphone through the cell phone and over the hotspot. So, seeing if it'll work. Back to Net Control.
Alright. right, Kilo Oscar 4, Tango Echo Zulu, got you down. Anyone else out there wishing to check in? All right, KO4TEZ, KJ7OMO, the mic is yours.
Well, thank you there, Kimberly. KO4TEZ. Not a whole lot to really add as of late. Really long work week this week, 6 days, and looking like 6 days this upcoming next week. So there will be some ham gear buying money, to say the least, with a couple of these checks. Currently, I'm at the debacle of getting a signal link. Haven't decided if I do or not, because we'd like to have a nice interface box to interface between different radios, and the option is just being able to change the cable out and all, and the jumpers seem pretty appealing. So may give that a shot. I'm trying to make use of this Kenwood and try to do a little bit of digital with it, and maybe put the bulletin board system up on the air if I can ever get all the bugs worked out. But hopefully so. Just have free time comes up, and I guess that'd be one weekend project to knock out. KO4TZ back in control.
All right, KO4TEZ, KJ7OMO returning. That sounds pretty good. What was I gonna say? Shoot. It left my mind. Oh no. Anyways, sorry, my mind just decided that it wanted to shut down on me. So before I send it to the top, was there anyone else wishing to check in? All right, Tony, VK3, JED, KJ7OMO, we'll toss it back to you.
Yeah, all technical issues to sort that I'm sure Keith will find a suitable solution. Yeah, as I said, for me, the best solution was to be completely independent of the provider you're using, bypassing it completely by bringing my own equipment. That was the best for me, and that's been quite successful over the last it'll be 5 or 6 years, I think, maybe even a little more, with that little travel router. Although, yeah, with things being a bit tighter, I've also made sure that some things can use the phone. It's not Pi-Star, it's a hand-built hotspot, because I built it on top of an All-Star node. But it's really good. I've now got it set up so it'll look for the travel router, or it'll look for the the phone, and it just locks onto the phone straight away. So yeah, it sounds like you fixed the SSID into something that is sensible. So yeah, it seems a bit odd that it won't work with the phone. You always find put the iPhone into that screen, the personal hotspot screen. Make sure it's got to allow others to join, and then fire up the hotspot, and it should just work. And the fact that I configure mine manually also means I don't have to worry about Pi-Star doing something really weird and screwing up the configs, because Pi-Star sometimes can screw up various aspects if you're like me and do some really out there stuff by hand. So yeah, I'm often, other than the dashboard function, I'm often better off without Pi-Star anyway these days. And that's how I've got mine set up for the hotspot that travels with me. I do have a second Pi-Star one actually, but I must upgrade it. Anyway, no, all good. And yeah, welcome to the other station that just popped in as well. Yeah, the cloud is thickening up here, but it's allowing the radios to run a bit cooler instead of sitting in the sun. So I've gone back to the FT818, which was getting hot in the sun, but now the sun's gone behind a cloud. It's acceptably warm and a little bit more nicer to hang on to than a handheld. Plus, now that I've started, I want to get a fair bit of battery use so I can put it on charge later. KJ7OMO with the group VK3JD.
VK3JED, KJ7OMO returning. Alright, I don't have any comments at the moment, so let's try Kilo India 6 Whiskey Papa Kilo one last time. Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar. KI6WPK, KJ7OMO. Alright, well, looks like we lost Bill, so if you could still hear me, 7-3, and thanks for stopping by. And I will mark Bill as being checked out, and we will move on to KK7AQN. And, by the way, I found out how to make your laptop share the Wi-Fi connection here. So all you would need to do, assuming you already know how to get into the settings and go into the network and internet part of the settings, you just click on that, go into mobile hotspot, switch it on, and from there you'll be able to share your internet connection from Wi-Fi over Wi-Fi, and that should work. This is assuming that you're on Windows 10 or 11. Yeah, you'll be able to make your computer as a repeater using the one and only Wi-Fi radio in the computer, and it does work. So we'll toss the mic over to you, KK7AQN, KJ7OMO.
That sounds good to me, and I have a bit of a history. I've been running Windows since 3.11, so it is kind of neat that they have gotten to a point where you can just share it over a single Wi-Fi adapter. I actually started that up, and I am in the process of configuring Pi-Star to try to connect to it. So hopefully my next check-in with you folks in a few minutes will be from a DMR radio. So I'm going to pass it right back to you. This is KK7AQN.
Alright, sounds good. Fingers crossed that you'll be able to get in via DMR. KO4TEZ KJ7OMO.
I actually need to step off to the side momentarily, Kimberly, but we'll be returning back next round. Sorry about that. KO4TZ back to net control.
No problem, CJ. We'll call you back on the next round. Okay, we're at the bottom of the list, so let's see if there's anybody else out there wishing to check in. All I need are your call signs, slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, your pronouns as well. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar. I will be standing by for more check-ins. Alright, do we have anyone else out there wishing to check in? All I need are your call signs, and if you wish, your pronouns as well. Alright, VK3JED will toss that hot potato back to you. KJ7OMO.
Okay, Kimberly, and we've managed to get a net to work quite well again, and with a bit of preparation, everything went without a hitch, at least from our side. Just some usual, a few of us challenges getting in. I did have one radio that's gone a little intermittent on the battery side, but all good, and nice to give the big Yaesu a run. Got to play with that, use that a bit more. I might actually get a bit more use temporarily in the new house until everything's back together the way it should be. I'm looking forward to that all being over, and can have a proper shack, something I haven't had for really a proper shack I haven't had for 12 or more years, so it'd be good. Dedicated space. Oh, it'll be shared with a few other things, but at least it's not going to interfere with anything else. And I'll be able to put the second TV up in the shack, and I'm hoping to incorporate ATV into the antenna system. When the TV antenna goes up, should be able to get the receive at least. I do have an antenna that will do transmit on 1250 meg. So lots of things to set up. And travel's, hang on a sec. Travel's always a challenge, especially if you're making use of whatever networking you can get hold of. Prefer to have my own networking. I found that by far the easiest, but I have been able to work in with available infrastructure from time to time. But it can take a little bit more thought at times, as you don't know what's between yourself and the internet. And I've just got a ping, so who was that? Okay. Yeah, that's to do with the gay games, which I'd love to get to. It's starting to look a bit of a challenge, but I haven't ruled it out yet over in Hong Kong. But I've got to raise a fair bit of money to be able to make that trip, but it would be good to do. And I actually have a chance of coming back with some bling. In about 12 and a half months' time, that's on around first, second week of November 2023. Anyway, KJ7OMO with the group VK3JD.
VK3JED KJ7OMO returning. Sounds pretty good. Anyways, let's see if KK7AQN was able to get his network things going and all that happy stuff. KK7AQN KJ7OMO.
Well, I think I'm getting closer. I don't remember. Do you have to reboot Pi-Star after adding a network? For some reason, I thought it would just connect when you hit save and connect. And every time I do that, it still insists on staying on its own private network. So I'm trying to reboot. So maybe by the next time we go around, or maybe tomorrow I'll actually just drop in and see if anybody's listening to see if it works or whatnot. Yeah, this is fun stuff. I am definitely going to have to get into SSH and figure out Pi-Star when I have some time on the road, because I am not enjoying this GUI stuff when it comes to running a Linux machine. So we will see what happens if this Pi-Star comes back up and actually gets on the network or not. Back to you, Kimberly. This is KK7AQN.
Alright, sounds good. Yeah, you may need to reboot it. And if all else fails, you can also stick a file into the boot partition of the hard drive. I forget how to name it and format it, but I will look that up. But you stick a config file into the boot section and the Pi will automatically copy the data over to wherever it needs to go, and then it should hook up to the network after that. But first, let's try a reboot after you configured the network interface stuff and hope for the best. KO4TZKJ7OMO, we'll toss that hot mic over to you.
Well, thank you. I had to turn the input on this mic down just a hair. It seemed like I was able to modulate a little bit to the station monitor. I've currently got the Pi-Star sitting there as my monitor, and I've also got I've got the hotspot Pi-Star. I've got it on the DSL connection, and I've got the Echolink connection into my regular cellular hotspot. So, odd way to go about, but it's so far so good. Did have a little bit of packet loss going on, and was trying to hunt that gremlin down just a little bit, and I think I found the culprit being the Xbox. So I've completely unplugged the supply to that. Shouldn't be any more problems on that end. Let's see. I don't think I have anything else to add at the moment, so I'll send it down. KO4TEZ back to net control.
Alright, copy that. KJ7OMO returning, and we're at the bottom of the list, so let's see if there's anyone else out there wishing to check in to the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net. All I need are your call signs, slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, your pronouns as well. KJ7OMO standing by.
This is W0FLZ, Whiskey 0, Foxtrot, Lima, Zulu. Name is Paige, pronouns are she and her, and I am in Northwest Washington. Back to net.
Alright, Whiskey 0, Foxtrot, Lima, Zulu, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar, got you down. Anyone else out there wishing to check in? Okay, Paige, we'll toss it over to you. W0FLZ KJ7OMO.
All right. Well, KJ7OMO. Sorry. Getting over a cold here. And it's been a pretty good night. I actually heard you on our local PSRG repeater earlier tonight, and then I just jumped on NetLogger to see what nets were on. I had the HF rig going, and I saw this net on, and I said, you know what, I'm going to go look it up. And here we are, just spending the evening in the shack, and I just wanted to jump in and say good evening to everybody. So I will turn it back to Net Control, W0FLZ.
All right, well, welcome aboard. Glad to have you here. We usually join Siobhan's net right after ours, but it looks to me like we're likely going to go into overtime again, which is all right. We'll still join Siobhan anyways. All right, was there anyone else out there wishing to check in before I send it back up to the top? KJ7OMO, standing by. All right, Tony, VK3JED, we'll pass it back to you, KJ7OMO.
Yeah, okay, Kimberly, and time flies and having fun, and welcome aboard. It's nice that people are finding us through places like NetLogger, which I didn't get up today, but I have used it many times during the net, and I'll second Kimberly's opinion. It's a fantastic little program, really good for seeing what nets are on and who's talking where and what, and great way to follow a net. I recommend it to anyone who has anything to do with nets, especially net controllers. Really good for them. All good. And for Keith, getting SSH going, you just got to make sure you turn the SSH option on in the GUI, and there, I can't remember where he is, somewhere in the GUI, and then you can log in over Secure Shell, and as PyStar with the PyStar password, and then from there you can do all your command line favourites, but you got to make sure you can write to the file system first, because it defaults to read only. That's another little trap with a PyStar. You got to use rpy-rw to make it writable, and it will reset to read only fairly quickly. So sometimes you need two shells logged in, one to do your work and the other one to enable write access before you save files. But that's how I manage PyStar-based systems these days, pretty much almost exclusively over SSH. All good. Anyway, I'm going to start packing my gear up, and I'll probably get another round in before I disappear. KJ7OMO with the group VK3JED.
Copy that, Tony. I'll pass it over to KK7AQN. Hopefully he's able to get in via DMR. KJ7OMO. Fingers crossed that's working.
Well, we're still on Echo Link. But we're getting further. I actually have it connected through the Windows 10 laptop. And now my DMR network is red. I'm actually on the Windows 10 laptop right now in the Pi-Star config. But for some reason, it is not actually connected to the DMR network. So that is what I'm going to figure out next. Because it was working really well when I was using it at home last week. So going to have to figure that out next. But no big deal. We got Echolink, so I'll probably join for one more round as well, and then switch over to the local repeater here. But we'll see what happens. KK7AQN back to net control.
All right, sounds good. At least you've made progress. Hopefully Windows Firewall isn't causing any connection issues with that. I don't think it would. But yeah, at least you made progress, and that is good. Yeah, sometimes DMR connections might have some issues, so probably a good idea to try different ones until you get in. And another option on the hotspot, in case if you really can't get in via DMR, is to enable DMR2 YSF. That's number 2, by the way. DMR2 YSF, turn that on, and then set it to connect to the Pride reflector on the YSF side. And then you key up on the DMR radio by going into top group 70, followed by the reflector number. In this case, it's 85527. So top group 70, 85527 will tell Pi-Star to route all the traffic over to the DMR to YSF bridge and on out into the Pride reflector. So that's another option there. And plus you'll also get to browse the Fusion networks too. So yeah, that's another way to get in. Alright, KO4TEZ, KJ7OMO, over to you. Kilo Oscar 4, Tango Echo Zulu, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar.
Oh, sorry about that, Kimberly. I had a phone call come in. Still don't have anything, I don't think, for this round, so I'm going to go ahead and pass my turnaround. KO4TEZ, right to net.
Alright, not a problem. Whiskey 0, Foxtrot, Lima Zulu, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar. We'll send it over to you.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you. It's been great chatting with y'all. I am getting ready to jump on to Siobhan's net and also onto an HF net. So I will say good evening and thanks for having me. And I will look for the net on again when I'm in the shack on Saturday evening. So 7-3 all W0FLZ.
Alright, sounds good. Well, for your information, this is a roundtable general discussion RagChew net. So we basically keep going until either we had enough or until Siobhan's net starts. And we sometimes go after, sometimes we go late into Siobhan's net schedule. But yeah, we always join Siobhan at the end of our net. So yeah. And the schedule for our net is every Sunday at 2 a.m. Coordinated Universal Time, which equals to Saturdays at around 7 p.m. Arizona time. So, yeah, you're more than welcome to check in every time, and you're also more than welcome to check in to the net, connect to the network anytime, just to say hello to whoever's there. 3373 and all the numbers, and we'll see you on Siobhan's net shortly. Alright, folks, well, I'm going to make one final call for check-ins, and then after that, we're moving on to the 7-3 round. So, final call, anyone, anywhere, all I need are your call signs, slowly, twice, and phonetically, and your pronouns if you wish. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar, standing by. Alright, final call for check-ins. Anyone, anywhere. KJ7OMO, standing by. Alright, well, looks like we got no one else out there, so since this is the final round, I will also be taking in check-ins for Siobhan, since I know for a lot of people it's really hard to get into her net through all the pile-ups. So while you're connected to our network, you could, and if you want to check in to Siobhan's net, just let me know. I'll mark you down, and I'll relay your check-ins for you, since I have the ability to bust right through those pile-ups using my full duplex capabilities. So, VK3JED, we'll toss it over to you, KJ7OMO.
Yeah, okay, Kimberley, and definitely good to catch up as always. Always good fun on the net here, and looks like I've made a Mexican contact for the gay games in there. Although I'm actually hoping to get over to Hong Kong, which is a little bit closer, be nice to Hong Kong's sort of one of those places you always want to visit. But yeah, if I did end up in Mexico, I'd end up via the US. There could be an opportunity to drop into there. Decisions. Now I want to go to both, but of course they're on at the same time, so I can only go to one. Anyway, that's. Assuming I can go at all, I think Hong Kong's probably going to be slightly cheaper to get to shorter distance, which will be a factor as well. But yeah, it would be it's a particularly good opportunity in terms of when they're held. COVID's actually worked to my advantage. It's pushed me into an older age group, and maybe from an outside chance of getting one medal to a real chance of getting a few. So, and I don't get an opportunity this good until I turn 70, so in 16 years' time. Anyway, have fun with your radios, and if you got any questions, Keith, I'm always on the Discord, so I can answer them whenever, and about getting on and any little Pi-Star quirks or whatever. Happy to answer as others know, and hopefully we're here on DMR next week. I should be on the net. Anyway, KJ7OMO with the group, VK3JD. I'll keep listening, and you can check me into PSRG. If I'm still listening, I will say hello. If I don't respond, you can put me as an IO. It'll just depend on the timing. KJ7OMO with the group, VK3JD.
Alright, no problem, Tony. I'll put you in as a full check-in, and if you're not available, that's fine. KK7AQN, over to you for a final. And by the way, Tony, 7-3. And thanks for hanging out with us as usual. KK7AQN, KJ7OMO, over to you.
Alrighty, and I'm pretty sure this will be resolved as soon as this net is over, because I think that's how this works, right? Getting further, we'll figure it out. The Pi-Star is saying address unknown, which is fascinating to me. But I'm getting further. I'll have it figured out by next week, and I should be joining you all from Idaho, I believe, is in the plans. And yeah, if you would check me into Siobhan's net, please, because I got a little FM handheld tuned up, and the green light is on, so there's lots of traffic coming in through there, and I would love to check in there as well. But for now, 73, thank you for running the net, Kimberly. This is Kilo 7 Alpha, Quebec, November. Back to you.
All right, sounds good. We'll see you on Siobhan's net shortly. KO4TEZ, KJ7OMO, over to you for a final.
Well, thank you, Kimberly. I was going to ask one thing. I haven't been checking the network map lately, but have the ASN and All-Star hams over IP connections, have they been added onto the list of ways you can get into the nets? Just was curious. I haven't looked lately if they were on the list or not. It was something else. I can't for the life of me remember what it was I was going to bring up. So I'm going to send it on back to Net Control KO4TEZ.
Yeah, roger that. I'm not sure. And plus that network map has not been updated in ages. In fact, I might just take that network map off my website and maybe put a network map, maybe put together a network map of my own so that we could have something up to date. But I'll look into that to see if there is a hams over IP bridge. I think there is, but I'm not 100% sure. All right, folks. Is there anyone that's previously checked in wishing to give their final before I close the net? Alrighty, Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar returning. Alright folks, that is a wrap. I would like to thank all of you for participating and having fun on this net. I also would like to thank the Waverly Amateur Radio Society in Sydney, as well as the folks behind the VK3RBO repeater for the use of their systems to carry this net, as well as VK3JED, VK2WAY, and the rest of the Pride Radio group for making this net possible. I now return all frequencies, repeaters, and systems back to their abnormal abuse. I mean, normal amateur use. 7-3, everyone, from Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar. And for those of you who will remain on the VK2ROT repeater and also the rest of the Pride Radio network, I will now hand it off to Siobhan, KJ7 Uniform Sierra Zulu, whom we are 10 minutes late joining. But before I do that, was there anyone else wishing to check into her net but don't want to deal with the pile-ups trying? Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar, standing by for anyone wishing to check into Siobhan's net. Alright, doesn't look like we have anybody else wishing to check into her net, so I will now connect us to the Puget Sound system. Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar.
a great job as always, which means you're smiling big. Anyway, it was nice to go out and walk in the rain today to get rid of all that smoke and everything. Boy, you know, I was hoarse for 2 or 3 days. Let's see, last week I got my flu shot. If I wait 5 weeks, I'll get my 5th booster, and that would be the Omicron B5 variant. And let's see. Oh, I've been fooling around here. It's kind of strange. With CW. Let me break a minute. You know, I'm good at conceptual things, so I found kind of a conceptual or CW by association that I'm trying to learn.
Okay, YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream. Be sure to like, subscribe, ring that bell, and we'll see you on the next one. 7-3 all from Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar.